We start here in Accra, where Vice President Dr. Mamadou Bawumia on Thursday paid an unannounced visit to the passport office, where he pledged government to provide the necessary resources to fast-track the delivery of passports to applicants. The Vice President during the visit found scores of applicants who had thronged the office to chase after the applications. Though an online application system was launched in November last year, the platform is only available to Accra residents. A situation Dr. Bawumia said has to change to ease the struggle applicants have to endure.
It's very clear that we need to move from the manual processing to an online processing of passports. And we also need to make sure that every region has that capability to do the online processing, every region. And so this is so that we abandon the manual, move to online, and you can then have much quicker delivery of passports across the country. People are suffering too much just to get a passport. But the good news is that the foreign minister is very much on top of this issue. The directors here are very much thinking about the changes that we want to bring on board. And some of these changes are already beginning. We only have one online processing center in Ghana, which was opened in November, and that is here. Only one. But if we can do across all 10 regions, we believe that people will have their passports much quicker. And I think this is what we are going to hold them responsible for, and also provide the resources that are needed to allow the extension of these services across the country. But I think people should not suffer this much just to get a passport. We will have to change that.
Assistant Director of Passport Samuel Ofosu-Boateng assured the Vice President steps have been taken to eliminate passport contractors known as Goro Boys and stationed around the passport office who take advantage of applicants and charge exorbitant fees. Now, the President's nominee for Accra Mayor on Thursday was unanimously endorsed by the Metropolitan Assembly. Mohamed Ni Ejaisoa secured the approval of all 109 Assembly members to make him Accra's freshest mayor, but about the only one in recent times to have been unanimously passed. The outcome of the election suggests an overwhelming confidence in the President's nominee to address the many challenges facing the metropolis, with the removal of unauthorized structures from the city and flooding key amongst issues the Assembly members want addressed. Matilda Vomega has more.
The former Greater Accra Regional Secretary of the New Patriotic Party needed at least 2/3 of the votes to be approved as the President's nominee as Mayor of Accra. But Ni Ejaisoa secured all 109 votes from the Assembly members. He was immediately sworn into office by the presiding member to begin his term in office as the Chief Executive of the Accra Metropolitan Assembly. Some Assembly members have a wish list for the new mayor.
At us now, we are approaching the rainy season and all our drains is choked. So we need deserting, massive deserting. So I will urge that Ejaisoa should come to our aid so that we can have the deserting done.
Looking at Accra, you see, we have a lot of unauthorized structures that we think are in places that we think they are not supposed to be there, which coming of Ejaisoa, we think he will put things in place, even by not at least trying to let people cry, but he will do things that will make people, feel happy.
We, the Assembly members, we are in a hurry because our time is too short in our Assembly, you understand? So we need development in our areas to get re-elected again. So we don't need to waste any time. We have to give him the nod for Accra to be developed.
The Accra Mayor Mohamed Ni Ejaisoa says he will work with all to achieve the President's vision for the Accra metropolis.
I shall work with you. We should be able to have a sustainable smart city. Amen. In a few years to come, our mind and vision
Now, residents of Gulf City in the Kpung Katamanso district are appealing to the Roads and Highways Ministry to construct roads within the community and its environs. For close to 2 decades, roads within the area which serve as alternate routes to parts of Ashamang, Tema, Kpung and beyond are yet to be tarred.
The name Gulf City is derived from a golf course in the area which served as the main road to Ada. Chairman of Gulf City Residents Association, Douglas Asante, says their efforts over the years through the Tema Metropolitan and later Kpung Katamanso District Assemblies have been fruitless. He tells Joy News that the road is unmotorable during the raining season and extremely dusty in the dry season, making the situation very unbearable. He fears residents over the years have contracted respiratory-related diseases due to the dust. According to him, when constructed, Gulf City roads would help ease congestion on Tema Michel Camp Road, where drivers and travelers are stuck in traffic for several hours.
Dust are killing the residents because of the bad nature of our roads. Some vehicles have taken undue advantage. The trucks, they drive recklessly, and anytime we experience dust in our rooms, in schools, other places, it is unbearable. Gulf City roads, as a matter of fact, is such a big, road, and motorists from Afienya, from Mateko, in the morning, they apply this road because they find it to be very, short to get to their destinations.
Both private and commercial drivers who use Gulf City roads change their spare parts frequently due to the deplorable nature of the road. According to the drivers, promises to construct the roads over the years are yet to materialize as construction equipment are occasionally seen in the area.
I've been complaining for this road for about 20-something years now. And you can see this is the old Adan Road. Old Adan Road, old Afran Road. They have been burned up for some time. They have been burned down, and you can see all the road is not good. The gutter has been choked. When rain falls, we can't go. Our cars are dirty on the road, the shock, the everything. As you can see, the big shock too. This is where they pass. This is where we work. So we want them to come and help us so that we can do the road for us.
In fact, they say, we are suffering. We cannot bear this anymore. This road has to be fixed.
Cheapest. Good timber markets. Say omudi quartal good kwandisunyina. Masa enunansa yehu ya ni se cousin kitwa asha se besisa cheapest no ediko. Masa enua se yedi besi mu ebesi ne.
Meanwhile, the situation has led to collapse of businesses with few traders still struggling in the dust to make ends meet. Some traders who spoke to Joy News are urging the current government to fix the road.
It is our prayer that the roads will be fixed sooner than later. We cannot deal with the dust anymore.
Oh,
we are losing our customers due to the dust. This is really bothering us. Something has to be done about this.
My business no enkoso. Food the gumini manu sa time ya na mepefa ho. Obi basa na obi ya na food no mo be. Na kasa kasa. Say nyama no food mo dodo.
So far, the only tarred road in the area is the Afote Agbo Road, which connects Michel Camp Road to Kpung Barrier. Kwame Yanka's report for Joy News.
You're watching Joy News Prime. We're taking a break at this point, but NDC party bigwigs fire salvos at each other in what observers say could be the beginning of the implosion of the country's largest opposition party.
Lack of competence, and he's also not having control. People were just telling him lies within the presidency. They take Omani Boaman. What experience has he got in politics? Those who were surrounding were not telling him the truth.
We'll have a take of an NDC person who was once at the Flagstaff House. Stay tuned, we'll be back in a bit. The opposition National Democratic Congress, NDC, seems to be at the point of implosion, with leading members of the party at each other's throat over the cause of their defeats and the future of the party. After just 3 months in opposition, political pundits are warning the party may be heading for doom, with allegations and counter-allegations being traded, even as the party attempts to find out why it lost the 2016 elections. Raymond Aqua has more in this report.
The simmering tension and anger in the opposition NDC after its defeat last year was calmed by the formation of a committee to probe the party's humiliating loss. But even before the committee comes out with its report, the finger pointing has resurrected, with the NDC MP for Junjo in the northern region, Joseph Bipoba Nabu, blaming former President Mahama for the party's electoral defeat.
I would say lack of competence, and he's also not having control. People were just telling him lies within the presidency. They take Omani Boaman. What experience has he got in politics? Those who were surrounding were not telling him the truth. He was the president, and he went and contested with Nana Akufo-Addo and lost so miserable, so comfortable. I want to tell you categorically that if he comes, he will rather mess up more. He will lose miserably.
Earlier this week, the national organizer of the party, Kofi Adams, sought to douse the flames by pointing to the silver lining in the agitations for the leadership to account for the monies meant for the 2016 campaign.
When that happened, for me, I'm quite happy about it. It shows that the party is very strong. It shows that people are very much interested in the party, and they will work so hard to bring the party back to power almost immediately.
But his predecessor disagrees. For Boating Jan, this is just a manifestation of the fact that there were more cracks in the NDC than there were in the NPP when it was in power. The dust appears not to be settling soon, as a former chairman of the party, Dr. Kwabena J, is muddying the waters even further. Speaking on Accra-based radio station, he noted that some leading members of the NDC deceived former President Mahama into thinking he was in a comfortable lead when everything showed he was losing that election.
The handlers were all young, inexperienced, and they misled him.
Star 103.5 FM.
I'll say it anywhere, without any fear or favor. Do you understand? We, the old ones, come with experience. You should have listened to us. There is one younger person I related to. That's Julius Dabra.
Julius Dabra, former chief of staff.
He understood me. He synced with me. But the others were in the stars. And I wasn't even important in the affairs leading to President.
Former chairman of the party?
I wasn't important. Do you understand? I'm saying this right frankly from my heart. If I was, they would have asked me, at this time, what shall we do? What did you do in the past that we can vary to do now or in the future?
Well, it appears that the party had pushed the self-destruct button, and until something drastic is done, hard and fast, the NDC may not survive this storm.
All right, so joining me in the studio right now to speak to this particular issue is a former presidential staffer, Kojo Eduasari, who was also one-time member of parliament for Adenta. Welcome to Joy News Prime. Thank you for making time. Now, what do you think is happening in the party? in your party?
Israel, thanks so much. Good evening to your viewers. I think I don't consider this as an implosion, as you put it earlier.
What would you put it? Or how would you describe it?
I think after a big event like the loss of that election, certainly a party of 5 million plus followers would not just, vanish into thin air and the next moment everything is going on well. Look at previous issues. When it came to the NPP, when they lost the 2012 elections, we all know what happened. But for the fact that they were going to court, which rallied the party towards a certain agenda, certainly it was going to create some kind of challenge.
Well, so that was a strategy they used and it worked?
It worked for them.
What strategy is the NDC using?
What we are doing legitimately is we have commissioned the committee led by Professor Kwesi Botwe to go around the country and speak to people who feel aggrieved in this matter.
But it appears not to be working.
It's sluggish, I will put it this way, that it's rather moving slower than we expected.
So it means it's not a very effective strategy.
It is a good strategy. I was thinking that probably they could have spoken to some people at the top echelon first and foremost before they even went down to speak to the rank and file. That would have even taken some steam off whatever is happening right now, because you find that those talking now are the people at the top level. If the committee had spoken to them much earlier, they would have had occasion to vent their spleen at the appropriate places.
No, so you're talking about the people at the top level who are speaking. We're probably hearing them because their voices are a lot louder. But the people at the grassroots have also spoken.
Yes,
their issues are being
speaking
all this while.
Currently, they are the target for these committees' work. The mandate is to go and speak to the rank and file. But I'm saying that probably they could have split the team of 13 members into maybe 2 halves, so that part of them would even address the top-down, or they would take a top-down approach. The others would take a down-up approach. For instance, past MPs may have issues, current MPs may have issues, past leaders of the party or people who have held positions in the past, Council of Elders, founder, whoever. So this team could have met this group earlier to ensure that by the time they come down to the rank and file, at least some of the steam that we are beginning to feel right now would have been addressed. Because I believe that if somebody like Dr. Kwabena has had occasion to vent his plane elsewhere earlier,
he probably wouldn't be on radio
talking about
Now, I heard your interview not too long ago on Joy FM where you cited this guy saying, Sayo Unukwabeje.
That's right.
Akin to saying, I mean, where's the leadership in the party? It turns out that it is the leaders who are speaking and speaking this way. So who is supposed to emerge as a leader to speak to them? Where is former President John Mahama?
For me, I don't think we should even look at former President John Mahama, because currently,
at this point, we're looking for, I believe the followers are looking for somebody who would rein in everybody else.
Certainly, he comes across as a personality who can take up that challenge.
Why is he not doing that?
But he's not in town, as I know. But even if he is in town,
doesn't it suggest he abandoning ship?
No, not at all. I mean, come on.
Because it is at this point...
4 years of hard work, please. He needs some time.
At this,
you all saw the vigorousness of the campaign and all of that. He needs some time off.
It is at this time that the party really needs him, and he's not around.
No. For me, let's decouple, because he's been around after the elections, he's been around during inauguration, and this is much, Independence Day celebration, he was here. Okay, he stepped out just a few days after the independence program, and he's been gone for no more than 2 weeks.
In his absence, who can rein in?
For me, I think as of this evening, tempers are calming down. I know what is going on within our ranks to ensure that people use the laid down channels to confront whatever issues they have. I believe that as quickly as possible, the committee will address this particular situation, with a lot of alacrity, as I believe. It won't be as people want to make it sound, as if there's no implosion.
All right, let's bring up the issue that's at the heart of all of this. It's the loss of the defeat of the NDC in 2016. There are those who are saying that it is people like you who are around the president who caused the defeat of the party. How do you respond to that?
Well, you see, the moment we take on that approach, what we are going to tell ourselves later is that then we are all useless, because I didn't go there on my own volition. I know the work I did for my party before elections and after elections. And so whatever position they gave me, that should determine whether or not my assignment was rightly done or not, okay? That is how anybody can judge me. Okay. I was not made to go and work as a party officer. I went to work for government, okay? Dealing in government issues should be separated from running elections. Well, election is supposed to be run, wait a moment, elections are supposed to be run by the party.
Okay. You see, the accusation is that you guys focused on the governance and ignored the party.
You see,
you should have found a way of marrying the two roles.
As much as I want to agree with you to some extent, I'm not the type of person who wants to we need to sit down and diagnose whatever went wrong. All of us will have to take part of the blame, from the president himself.
So you will blame the president too?
I said from the president himself to the last person.
Why would you blame the president?
He was the leader of the party at the time.
So are you suggesting he failed?
No, please don't put words in my mouth. I am saying that all of us, and I want that underlined, all of us, every NDC person, all 5 million plus members should take part of the blame. Because you see, if you start picking
But the buck has to stop with someone.
No, listen, the leader of whatever usually would accept aspects of the blame. Okay, but we can't push it all on him, knowing very well that he cannot be at one place. And I asked a question on your show, on the other show. I asked that. We all saw the hard work, the number of times this man will go on campaign platforms, start from the morning, end up at dawn. Did he go there to lose? Is that what it suggests? He left his wife and family and for 6 days in a week campaigning. Did he go there just to lose?
So he believed that he was doing what he had to do.
Others had to play their role as well.
All right,
others,
so then,
including myself.
Dr. Kwabena, for instance, is suggesting there were people around him, people like yourselves, and people he refers to as the young ones.
You see, he was young before Dr. Kwabena at a certain point in his life. He wasn't this age when he started doing politics. And some of us, we are not kids. Okay, nearing 50, nobody should be seen as a kid. We can think for this nation. We can, run this nation, given the opportunity. So I don't want, in order that I don't end up using the wrong language. I want him to also look back and check from among them who is less than 20 years in the government. What does the constitution what is the age limit for people to take political offices? It's 21, as per those who want to go into parliament. Okay, so
you can go to parliament at any age and enter politics at any age, but it takes wisdom and experience.
You see,
to survive.
Wisdom and experience, you don't sit at home and gather it. You have to be your hands should be on the wheel and you gather. And
how do you see the NDC emerging out of this?
For me, what I think is that this whole situation we find ourselves, there are trees that sometimes before they even grow, into bigger whatever, you have to cut it at the stem level and let it shoot all over again. I have seen the NDC...
Are you suggesting should be cut off?
No, I'm saying that as at now, it looks like the tree has been cut off.
Okay.
It can sprout all over again and shoot up all over again and become that big tree.
That could take a long time.
It won't take that long. It depends on when it starts bearing fruit, or the range of the number of years it takes for that tree to bear fruit. I think that the work should be done at the branch levels, where we all come from. Everybody in NDC comes from a branch. If we all decide to go back to that branch and reorganize at that level, pretty shortly, constituencies will be strengthened, regional executives will be strengthened, national executives will be strengthened. It looks like at a certain point we are going faster than what is expected of us to do. I think that a few people have read their face. They want to contest for presidency and all of that. In the primaries, you see names being bandied around. It's also helping to create this situation.
Oh, you think it's one of the reasons why we're having this?
Yes. Because certainly, some people, if they feel threatened, they will want to find ways and means to cajole other people.
Threatened by who? I mean,
by somebody's presence.
President John Mohammed, former President John Mohammed's
it could be anybody.
Personality.
It could be him, it could be anybody, any of those who are interested in contesting. They could feel threatened with somebody's presence. So yes, they would find ways to cajole such a person even before they rear their heads. Okay, and it's a strategy in politics. Nobody can doubt that. But I'm saying that it is premature, because if you have a triangle, the base should be stronger, which is where you and I belong. Not you, but like myself and others, the foot soldiers and others. That's where we all belong before we shot up to the top. Okay, so if the base is not strong and we turn the triangle upside down and we start working on that one individual who should come and lead us, instead of working on the base that will hold that one person up there, then we have really shifted.
But there comes a time like this when you need the leader to rise.
You see, it is not a
and
one-man
that
show.
leadership.
Okay, that's why we have a leadership in place as we speak.
But the leadership, we're having somebody like your former chairman,
he's
Dr.
not part
Kwabena
of
J.
the current leadership, and I'm thinking that.
So,
you know,
who in the current leadership should rise?
The chairman is available. The
Mr. Potofi.
Mr. Potofi.
Why is he not?
I am sure they will communicate to him through the proper channels. Does he have to be
communicated to?
Why not? Because
he's seeing what is happening.
So what should he do? Come on air and also throw banters against him? No. We need to use proper, acceptable, well-refined means to communicate among ourselves. Unfortunately, some of them have veered off that track, and they should be brought back so that we can use the appropriate channels to communicate among ourselves. It's not good enough for us. You know, that's why people like yourself and others think there's an implosion. There isn't. There are just a few people who are disgruntled, like the foot soldiers who the committee is now working on. But I am saying and suggesting by this medium, if one of my people will be hearing me, or maybe subsequent to this program, I will also put my voice somewhere and tell them they should quickly organize a meeting of any senior person in the party so that this group will meet them. Let them also say what they want to say. Well, probably when the president comes, ex-president comes down, something like that should be organized for them to, you know, with the MP who spoke. I think my little advice to him, there's a lot of order in Parliament. When you go to Parliament, the first thing you learn to do is to play by a certain rule. The standing order, what do you call it, standing orders, and then the
but this is a party matter.
Yes, I'm saying that you learn from this, and it guides
the way you conduct your party activities.
It refines you and makes you a better person. He should allow the parliamentary practice to help him fashion how to speak. Other than that, when microphones are shoved in your face, you may say things that you go home and your whole family will regret for the things you said.
All right. Thank you very much, Kojo Edu-Asare. Kojo Edu-Asare is a former presidential staffer and one-time member of parliament for Adenta, and he was here to speak to us about the issues that are coming up in the National Democratic Party, National Democratic Congress, the largest opposition party at the moment. We're taking a break on Joy News Prime. We have business news coming up next.
Hello, good evening again, and thank you very much for joining me on Business. Government is now set to start paying public sector workers through the biometric smart card, eSwitch, from the last quarter of this year. It follows several test runs to ensure that the platform can support the huge staff numbers in the public sector. Already, national service personnel are being paid through eSwitch cards. The World Bank is also paying its contractors through the card. Chief Executive Officer of the Ghana Interbank Payment and Settlement Systems, Archie Hesse, says the move is part of measures to bring some efficiency in the public wage bill.
Please, you see, let's try and get it. What is trying to achieve is to ensure that the rightful people are paid. So, if the eSwitch system would achieve that, all the funds initially would reside in your bank account. Thereafter, you can go to your bank account and withdraw all and have it in cash. But as a country, there is in this day and age, everything is moving towards the digital era because of it's safer, it's better, and ultimately cost beneficial to the economy. Because don't forget that as we print currencies, the central bank uses a lot of our forex money to print those currencies. If we get to the stage where our reliance on cash is reduced, the amount of foreign exchange needed to be spent on printing currency also decreases. So there's a need. If you go to anywhere in the modern world, even in Africa, everybody is gravitating towards electronic payments. We shouldn't be left out. So what we are saying is that, yes, we will use the system initially to pay all your salaries into your bank account, but with time, the wish is that you would actually, since you all start paying via card, you have the opportunity to also put some onto your card. I remember many years ago when England started along the same journey. You go to you are paid into your bank account. You take cash. You go to a shop, Sainsbury's, Tesco's, or whatever, and then you pay via cash. Others are paying via card. With time, we all stopped going to the ATM to withdraw cash and then go and make purchases. We take our card there and then we make payments. And then if you need cash at minute areas where the point of sale devices are not available, you ask for cash back. With over a year or two, there are times when you live in a month without using cash at all, because all the places that you shop at, you can use your card. This day and age, we also have the internet. You can still use your card. So everything is gravitating towards the digital era, and I think we should all move in that direction.
Now, the need for banks to develop sustainable customer service will be the focus for this year's Ghana Bank Awards. The awards ceremony, organized by Corporate Initiative Ghana, is aimed at identifying and rewarding excellence in the universal banking system. The ceremony was launched in Accra today.
The 16th Ghana Banking Awards will be held under the theme Redefining a Sustainable Customer Experience in Banking 60 Years After Independence. Since 2001, Corporate Initiative Ghana has been organizing the awards annually to encourage creativity and innovation and promote efficiency in all aspects of service delivery in the universal banking sector. Speaking to Joy Business at the launch of this year's event, Chairman of the Ghana Banking Awards Planning Board, Nano Tue Champong, explained why the focus on customer service this year.
Are the base asset for any service industry, because you can have the bank with the latest technology, furniture and everything. If no customer walks through that door, then you don't have a business. And so we feel that the customer base is important. But you want customers on the basis of sustainability. By sustainability, we mean that it's cheaper to retain customers than to find new ones, and therefore the ability to sustain them for as long as possible is what the banks should be striving for.
Vodafone Business Solutions is partnering Corporate Initiative Ghana to hold this year's Banking Awards. Angela Mensah-Poku is director of Vodafone Business Solutions.
We're all here to service our customers at the end of the day and provide services to our customers. So when we were asked to come and sponsor again, we were very excited. And I think the theme around customer experience in banking is very apt, because now customers want you to deliver services in the way that they want, not the way you want. And in such a traditional area such as banking, it's very easy to forget about those unbanked. And so how do you go out and make sure you make banking relevant and make sure that you put the customers at the heart of everything you do? So we're really excited to be sponsoring this year. We know that it will be a lot of fun.
The award ceremony is slated for July 8th this year.
Ghana National Learning Alliance, an NGO, has started initiatives to improve food sustainability in the country. This is aimed at tackling imminent food security problems and commodity scarcity in Ghana. The move is part of the organization's support for government's Planting for Food and Jobs program, which was highlighted in the Finance Minister's 2017 budget presentation in Parliament. In this regard, a symposium has been held in Accra to help bridge the information gap between policymakers and other agricultural stakeholders.
National Learning Alliance, NLA, is an organization set up to facilitate the use of sustainable agriculture intensification programs in a way that will enable poor farmers benefit from policies in the sector. Speaking with Joy Business after the event, Director at the Ministry of Food and Agriculture, Theophilus Osei Owusu, disclosed that government's goal under Planting for Food and Jobs policy cannot be achieved without full participation of the private sector.
Investment that should be channeled towards agricultural development. We are cash-strapped, so we have to make do with the little resources that we get.
Government make budgetary allocations every year.
Yes, they do, but it's woefully inadequate. We still can do better. You see, when you talk about extension farmer ratio, we are talking of the ideal situation, one extension officer working with 400, maximum 500 farmers. Now we're talking in the region of 1,500 to 2,000 plus farmers to one extension officer. So you see, this limited as though they are infrastructure that are made available. We need to make the maximum use of them, whilst we still ask for upping of these equipment and tools.
On her part, Dr. Wilmina Quay, Director of the Center for Scientific and Industrial Research, called for improvement in infrastructure for the agricultural sector if these initiatives must work.
That is why in the agricultural policy, we also look at modernization. Issues with land, you have mentioned it. Issues with irrigation. These are infrastructure. It's not something that you can leave just to the individual. Issues to do with very good access to market, because we now have situations where we have a lot more people trying to transport than people who are actually involved in the production, which is not good enough. And so we need to even make our market accessible to the people who are producing, okay, so that a farmer can get very good prices for his sweat. In a situation where a farmer would produce and run into losses, is not encouraging, and this is what the youth are shying away from. And so we need to make all that it takes to bridge the gap between the market aim and the production aspect, and also the processing, because you don't need to carry a whole tractor of, let's say, cassava for processing into gari from the production site somewhere in maybe, let's say, the Brun-Ahafo region to Accra. You can do a lot more semi-processing at the farm gate before, and then it becomes lighter for you to transport.
The Symposium on Sustainable Agriculture Intensification Research is under the theme Role of Sustainable Agriculture Intensification in Ghana's Agricultural Modernization.
Now, telecom giant MTN Ghana says it will be partnering local app firms in the coming months to boost the industry. Chief Marketing Officer of MTN, Asha Khan, believes the local tech industry has the potential to come up with innovative ways of tackling issues concerning Ghana's socio-economic development. Speaking to Joy Business at the awards ceremony of MTN App Challenge version 4, Asha Khan said his outfit is committed to ensuring that the local tech industry remains highly competitive in the world.
The MTN App Challenge is aimed at identifying and training local app developers so they could develop locally relevant mobile applications. Award winners range from participants from the senior high school and tertiary levels. Chief Marketing Officer of MTN, Asha Khan, revealed to Joy Business MTN will be rolling out programs in the coming months to help the local tech industry in Ghana grow.
The next step, of course, is where we are planning to take some of these winners and some of these top apps and help them go through the whole commercialization cycle also. I think there's a lot of potential, and we have seen some very good apps coming out of Ghana. Some of them have come out from our earlier versions of Apps Challenge and some on their own. However, we see a lot of room of development. Some of the international apps which are out there, which we all use on the daily basis, they are definitely helping the economy. However, the peculiar challenges and the peculiar opportunities that exist in the country, for that you need local developers. And that's the focus of this event and this whole program.
The awards night saw the Presbyterian Boys Senior High School, PRESEC, win an award for coming up with an app called Red Button, which is aimed at improving emergency medical services in the country. All three participants spoke with Joy Business.
We entered the challenge because we thought it was an opportunity, actually, to make something for society. So we decided to make our Red Button app, which was an emergency service to help them, people who are in trouble or people who have something to report to. Like, it's like another 911, as he said in the video. That it's like a 911 by an advanced one on mobile devices. It's a quick access. It has widgets, it has instant, it has instant receiving to the person using the receiver, like the policeman or a fire service personnel.
They do an advanced version of it and then go just not concentrate on emergency services, but other problems that the society faces.
Which government tries to support us with maybe training programs, and more concern should be more ICT in this country should be looked at more seriously.
The MTN Apps Challenge version 4.0 honors the most innovative digital project developers in Ghana.
And that's all in business tonight. I'll bring you some more developments in the world of business in the subsequent bulletins tomorrow. Meantime, you can log on to www.myjoyonline.com/business. My name is Emmanuel Apuaji. We are good evening.
Welcome back to Joy News Prime. Government is taking the National Solar Rooftop Program a step further with the planned deployment of panels at ministries, departments and agencies across the country. The program, initially meant for households, has seen several homes fitted with the system, thereby reducing the dependence on the national grid. Minister for Energy Boakye Jarko announces at the launch of a solar PV system by the German Development Corporation.
The system developed by the corporation seeks to offer consumers a cheaper alternative. Cost is reduced by some 40% and requires less space for installation. GIZ Country Director Alan Walsh, delivering a welcome address, urged government to invest more in the sector to create more jobs.
A renewable energy and energy mix to contribute to the mitigating climate change, protecting the environment, and also very important for economic visibility. And because it brings benefits to the energy system and to the society at large.
Energy Minister Boakye Jarko outlined plans to get state agencies off the power grid.
We intend to go further. We intend to step on the accelerator and make sure that we do even more than we are doing now within this year. It is against this background that we intend to expand the solar program to cover all residential, non-residential facilities such as ministries, departments, agencies across the country.
The issue of finance has been thorny in the past, leading governments not to push through the dream. The energy minister is confident that hurdle will be crossed this time.
You see, solar is self-financing. You can put in mine. Mine is financed over 5 years, right? Those who do reverse metering, some actually generate and get the credit to pay for the equipment. But there are already local companies offering financing. Some of the banks who used to offer financing for generators are now offering financing for solar. So when you have no electricity bills to pay, that amount notionally goes to paying for the equipment. So for example, if I have a 500 cedi a month electricity bill to pay, once I get onto solar, I am no longer paying that 500. That 500 then goes over a 3-year period to pay for the equipment. Now, after the 3 years, the life of the equipment has 17 more years. So literally, I pay for the equipment in 3 years, and I enjoy the added benefits of 17 years. So it is self-financing.
The corporation intends making a system available for interested persons shortly.
Now, Foreign Affairs Minister Shirley Ayiko Botchwey is lamenting budgetary cuts to the ministry in the 2017 budget. The ministry is expected to generate 149.8 million cedis in internally generated funds, or mobilize some 149.8 million cedis in internally generated funds, but with government allowing it to retain only 51 million cedis. The minister says they will be seriously constrained in finding money to work effectively.
A ministry which is very much cash-strapped, although a lot is expected of us. Mr. Speaker, as one of our members said, this is a ministry which is the face of the country. It mirrors our country, and therefore things have to be done in such a way that we always put our best foot forward. Unfortunately, as colleagues have already said, our budget, what was expected, especially in terms of our internally generated funds, has been cut. Both funds, IGF, that normally we retain 100%, it's been cut by about 33% or so to 66%, and also IGF generated internally in Ghana has been cut to about 16%. That is going to make the work of the ministry very, very difficult, if not almost impossible. Mr. Speaker, but in spite of all this, we would like to assure the House that we will do all we can and improve on our services, especially to do with passport acquisition. We intend this year, Mr. Speaker, to increase the number of passport application centers to 10 from 6. Mr. Speaker, the House has expressed sentiments about the 50 million facility which was approved by this House in August 2016, which right now is at risk because the funds that we're supposed to use to service the facility has been reduced considerably by the Ministry of Finance. So I'm happy that the committee and members in general are not happy about this, and therefore will advocate on our behalf to the Ministry of Finance for us to be restored.
Staying in the House, MPs are calling for increased protection in the light of the terrorist attack on UK's Parliament. Members on Thursday condemned the incident at Westminster in which 4 people were killed when the attacker drove a vehicle into the gates of the House. MPs tell Joy News this is a lesson for Ghana's legislature.
It's unfortunate, and this brings back to the security system that we have in all the parliaments around the globe, including Ghana's parliament. Sometimes we can imagine the intruders, how people come in and leave without any serious security checks. So if somebody has issues with an MP or even a journalist, the person can take an undue advantage over the lapses in the security arrangement and do harm to an individual. So the security of this parliament should be up and doing so that they can up their game and do what is right. Who knows what will happen tomorrow?
It was very disturbing, very worrying. UK being our colonial master, if they're going through such troubles, we should be very much worried. Again, it sends signals to us members of parliament here in Ghana that look, we are also not that safe, because you cannot tell when some fundamentalist group or groups of that nature or any individual, will just decide to launch an attack, on this house. So we are worried, and I think that it will be very pertinent for us to heighten security within the precincts of Parliament, to forestall any such possibility.
Interior Minister Ambrose Udere is assuring his office will work with the Parliamentary Service Board to make the House safe.
I think that those comments were spot on. I think we face security challenges. What happened in Westminster, and indeed in the White House as well, when a gentleman was able to get in, didn't mean that there was no existing security arrangement. It simply means that people are able to beat or to breach such security arrangements, which should keep us perpetually on our toes to make sure that we continue to refine and to enhance the security protection that we have in critical places such as the presidency, the Jubilee House, and also Parliament, and indeed all citizens, because I want to make it clear that the President of Ghana is interested in making sure that every single Ghanaian or resident in Ghana feels safer. So yes, it's a thing we have to continue revising, and in consonance with the commitment of His Excellency the President, we'll continue to be doing training, appropriate training, capacity building of the personnel, and we hope with support when we get resources after the budget has been approved, that would also equip them adequately. And
Dealing with corruption in Ghana has become a Herculean task, even for institutions mandated to investigate the canker. At the Stakeholders Forum in Accra Thursday, panelists acknowledged Ghana has not criminalized most corrupt practices, hence the upsurge. They recommend several strategies to solving the corruption puzzle. Anodame was there for Joy News.
One major challenge hindering anti-corruption efforts in Ghana is that, despite the almost daily reports of misuse of public funds, many do not volunteer information on the acts, and sanctions for culprits are not stringent enough to serve as a deterrent. So, what else can the state do? Director of Anti-Corruption Department at the Commission for Human Rights and Administrative Justice, Charles Ayamdo, believes massive investment in the investigation institutions such as SHRAJ, IOCO, and Auditor General Department will be a giant step towards resolving corruption and related issues.
We need to invest more because they are public institutions and they are funded from the consolidated fund. So investment definitely will have to come from the consolidated fund. But of course, the paradigm shift now is now what you call public-private partnership against corruption. And so the private sector is supposed to contribute to the fight against corruption, the media. So it is a partnership and a collaboration because it is one load we are carrying.
Speaking on the challenges of corruption reporting, Senior Associate at the Africa Center for Parliamentary Affairs, Twinese Amuzu, was not happy that despite Ghana boasting of some strong anti-corruption laws and policies, enforcement is weak, thus creating a culture of tolerance for corruption, something that will ultimately retard national development if not checked. According to him, avenues must not be created for people, especially politicians, to exploit.
When the price is right, likelihood of corruption is real. When the price is right, even believers, staunch believers in anti-corruption can't be corrupt. The question is, What are we doing to ensure that the price is not right? So we need to understand how politicians and the bureaucracy think. This is how they think. If you create the incentive for them, it will be exploited. It will be exploited. So it's important to ensure that the incentive for corruption is removed.
For Joy News, my name is Hannah Odami.
Breaking cocoa pods to scoop out the beans on a large scale can be an arduous task. In fact, labor-intensive and time-consuming. A farmer at Formina in the Ashanti region has however designed a simple metallic tool to simplify the process. Kwesi Debra reports.
In the Adansi North District, Ofori Chuneboa has been struggling to break his cocoa pods after harvesting. In the face of aging and weakening limbs, farm hands are difficult to come by. He devised this tool to make the task of getting cocoa beans out of piles of pods less burdensome. The machine has blades, one at the tip for cutting the tip of the pod, the other runs along the length of a lever supported by a metal base. The blades are positioned to ensure the beans are not destroyed in the process of sliding the pod open.
Well, it works in such a way that when we put the pot inside this thing, it will cut the head. At the same time, it cut the middle and then the one down, so that it may not spoil the beans. At the same time, it will crack, but it won't spoil the beans.
Mr. Ofori hopes to improve on the present design to a bigger capacity to take 5 or more pods at a time.
So we are going to make it in such a way that it can crack about 10 or more than one at a time.
The Technology Consultancy Center of the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology is providing technical support. The center also looks to assist Mr. Ofori to commercialize the technology. Dr. Michael Jalu is the center's director.
After developing these prototypes, there's a need to improve upon the prototypes so that they can be acceptable on the market, to make them more marketable. And again, as part of our impact, our way of mentoring our artisans in the Swami magazine, we are bringing them here to take them through the training, and then they themselves will improve upon the equipment that we give to them. Now, when they have done it, they have gained the skills, number one. They have been able to improve upon themselves, and then at the end of the day, they have something also for commercialization, something to sell.
Reporter for Joy News, Kwesi Debra.
Residents of Manso Tontokrom, a farming community in the Amanse West District, have resorted to the use of sachet water for daily household chores due to the contamination of their water sources by miners. The main source of water, the Kumkou River, has been polluted with poisonous chemicals through illegal mining, making it unfit for potable use. Meanwhile, the mechanized wells, which will provide alternative supply, are unreliable due to the erratic electricity supply situation. They want government to intervene and save the situation. Ishra FM's Sensu Mensah reports.
Illegal mining has taken a toll on the people of Tontokrom. The negative effects lie visible. The one healthy source of drinking water and fish for the community is now a lifeless, poisonous, flowing, useless liquid. The Kumkou River has been poisoned with mining chemicals unfit for domestic use. They want swift government intervention to save the situation. Gabriel Mafu is the assembly member for the Tontokrom community.
Sometimes we use this one as you use it for doing washing and everything. But because of that galamsees, they have destroyed the water. And even they have this thing, all the sand is inside the water. So even I don't think whether we can get a fish inside this water again. So we are now polluted. So we have to appeal to government to help us. Either we can get another water in town to help us. Otherwise, we have our typhoid fever and everything.
Mr. Mafu told Love News residents resort to sachet water when there is no electricity to power the mechanized boreholes.
We have to use either sometimes we use sachet waters to even use it for food on water. That's why we are using that sachet waters. So we have the cost of living is now going higher and high. We can use it about 2 sachets or 3 sachets a day.
Nana Sumensa reporting for Joy News.
Elsewhere, Galamsey activities continue to affect water supply to communities in Ghana. Many communities that depend on rivers for their drinking water have been badly affected, as almost all the rivers in Ghana have been polluted. The issue is dire in Hotopo, where Galamsey activities on the Butcher River has polluted the only source of drinking water to the community. Residents in this Western region town say they have no option but to settle for the contaminated river. Our reporter Samuel Kojo Brace has been to the town and has filed this report.
The Butcher River serves as a major source of drinking water for the people of Ahosiejo, Hotopo, Freti, and Aketenche, all in the Ahanta West district of the Western region. This river has seen a massive pollution as a result of Galamsey activities for the past 10 years. I traveled to Hotopo to assess the extent of pollution of this river.
Just look at the stone, you realize the debris of clay on these stones, and it tells you the amount of destruction that Galamsey activities have had on this particular river.
The people of Hotopo tell me because they have no option, they are forced to drink the water the way it is.
The life and the health of the inhabitants of Ahosiejo Area Council is at a very great risk due to lack of potable water. Our river, which is known as the River Butcher, is now polluted by Galamsey. It is the only source of drinking water that we depend. And as at now that I'm speaking, we don't have any water to drink because our water is polluted. Hotopo, as a community with a population of 2,810, we are only surviving on one borehole. And that even borehole is not even suitable for drinking. Our life is at a great risk. When it comes to Hotopo, we have Hotopo Primary and GHs. And when you go there, the situation there is very terrible. All because the children don't have water to drink. So they normally, we have a gutter leaning across our football park. It is where our children go and fetch water to drink.
I traveled to another community to understand how Galamsey is destroying rivers in the Western region. Windo is another community that depends on a river called Wen River for water. Over the years, the river, through Galamsey activities, has been reduced into something that can best be described as a gutter.
Now, this is the Wen River. If you look at the color of the water, they say water is colorless, but you and I can tell that from this water is colorful. If you look at the height of the bridge I can see in front of me, and you look at the level of the water, it tells you how fast this water has dwindled.
The people of Windo in the Kwesmintim constituency are calling for a solution. It is the prayer of the people of Hotopo and its environs in the Ahanta West district of the Western region that government, NGOs, the Assembly, and the MP of the area, lawyer Ebenezer Kojokum, will come to their aid with some boreholes. For Joy News from Takrady, my name is Samuel Kojo Brace.
This is Joy News Prime.